In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 signs that you are most likely about to have a spiritual awakening. In my opinion, I believe spiritual awakening is divine intervention. So this is when you're being uprooted. It's like unplugged, uprooted, disconnected from reality as you knew it. And the spiritual awakening doesn't have an alarm. It doesn't ring your doorbell. It doesn't give you a signal. It doesn't tell you that, hey, listen, tomorrow you're going to have an awakening. This is something you have no control of. It is simply divine intervention. And there's a reason as to why that awakening has to happen, because if it does not happen, your life could end up moving a completely wrong direction. When I woke up a couple of years ago, I was suffocating in a toxic relationship. I knew that I deserved better. I knew that I wasn't a bad person. I knew, yes, even if there were some mistakes, I had my own flaws, whatever, but I was not a bad person. And I was suffocating in a narcissistic relationship where I did not have anything else to do. I had tried everything. And no matter what I tried, it wasn't working. I didn't know what else can I do. And then one day, while I was thinking what to do, God, can you give me a sign? Can you show me if this relationship is going to work? Can you show me what I need to do? Do I need to change something? Do I need to do a certain thing? It wasn't working. And then on that day, I stumbled upon a video. All my life, I never knew anything about narcissism. On that day, I stumbled upon the video. That video changed my life forever. So that word popped up. There was a guy, Queen Holiday. So Queen Holiday was talking about narcissistic abuse. And then when I heard that word and whatever it is he was saying, is when the switch went off. Now, at that time, I didn't know that I was waking up, okay? So normally I use my experience to help you understand the signs. So when something happens like that in your life, you know what to expect and you know what you need to do. You know at least there is a very big chance you may be going through, very likely going to have a spiritual awakening. So I woke up, ladies and gentlemen, and things have never been the same. Ever since, things have changed. One of the signs you will experience when you're about to go through a spiritual awakening, you're going to go through an ending. It is going to be an ending that is going to take you by surprise. It is an ending of a relationship. You have invested everything in that relationship, energy, time. But regardless of what you have done, nothing happened. And for some reason, you might be triggered to end that relationship, and it's going to break you. Because the spiritual awakening normally happens during or after the breaking, when you're going through a breakup, or sometimes after the breakup. It can be an ending of a job, for example. You spent 20 years in this corporation, you worked for them, you gave them your all, you had all the promotions, you was comfortable, but something happens and you just feel like you cannot take it anymore. It is something that you can't stand anymore. The job is making you sick. You're reaching an extent whereby you hate yourself when you're going to work. And sometimes you're going to be triggered to end that job. You'll be like, okay, I don't want to do this job anymore. Let me leave this job. I don't know what is going to happen. I know some people who have even quit their jobs, even without knowing where they had to go. And they just let the universe take the wheel. The universe, just show me whatever it is you have there out there for me. Maybe there's something else I'm not seeing. Let me leave this job. Show me where it is I need to go. So when I was experiencing the ending of a relationship, I did not know anything what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I didn't know if I was prepared for this. But for some reason, there was nothing else I could do. I just say, okay, good. There's nothing else I can do. This thing is out of my hand. And I'm leaving. Let me leave this relationship. There's nothing else I could do. So when you're going through an ending, what you actually don't see, it is significant of a new beginning awaiting for you somewhere. It's not going to come in 24 hours. It's not going to come in 2 hours. But there's normally a new beginning that you're being prepared for. But before that new beginning takes effect, there's got to be an ending. And I'm just giving you examples of an ending, but it can be an ending in anything that you have actually invested so much time and energy in. It's simply symbolic of you investing the energy in the wrong place, maybe being around the wrong people, maybe working the wrong job that is not good for you, is making you sick, is making you ill, and an ending has got to occur for you to be able to move on into your next destination. So that is one of the signs that you are very likely going to go through a spiritual awakening. Number 2, sign that you most likely going to have a spiritual awakening is when you might sometimes be hit by very serious illness. It can be an illness that might even baffle the doctors. The nurses may be running up and down and this and this. It almost takes your life. And you start going through a lot of, it's like memories. These memories start coming in and you're like, okay, so this illness nearly took your life, or it could even sometimes take your life. So what else could you have done in this lifetime that could have prevented this thing from happening? So you're having those things whereby you are thinking about the life choices that you might have done over the years. Sometimes it can also happen where you might actually be involved in a car accident, any form of accident. Maybe it was a burn, maybe it was a house fire, maybe it could have been anything. It was a very serious event. And that event could have even taken your life. When you look back, you're thinking that thing could have taken your life. So most of the times when you're going through those things, that kind of illness, situation, circumstance is very, very serious. And it's going to trigger something in your brain that might have actually caused you to awaken. Not everybody that goes through those things awakens, but a lot of people have seen. Like I know another guy, I think he was Crocside or something, one of my mentors when I was starting my journey. So for him, it was I think it was an accident that nearly took his life. So he was bedridden, he was in a coma, and that is when actually he was activated. So later on, after that incident, he survived the coma, he survived the accident, and eventually he started thinking about all the things that he could have done better, before he could check out of this realm. So that is what triggered his awakening. And a lot of people who are bedridden in hospitals, something like that, very serious illnesses, sicknesses, there is something that triggers your soul to wake up. So that is like you're being given a second chance. And this second chance, you want to use it to the best of your advantage, to the best of your ability. You want to make sure that you don't waste it. The other chance you had was wasted. This time you don't want to waste it. You want to make sure that you do something very productive, because now you see that life can be too short for you to invest or sometimes to live a certain lifestyle. Sign number 3, that you most likely might have very soon a spiritual awakening, go through an awakening, is when you may be compelled, maybe you might have the feeling to relocate. It may be you've been in this neighborhood, wherever you go out of your house, there are these drug addicts. Whenever you're in this house, there is things are happening, there is a smell coming from the backyard, there is something going on, and there is a lot of uncomfortable experiences going on in that particular environment where you are. And you feel like maybe, I think it's time for you to move. You're being forced to move. You don't have all the details, but you feel you're being compelled to relocate to somewhere else, somewhere where you can eventually have some peace. Maybe you can have some sleep. You could be living in a street whereby there's a lot of cars moving around, you cannot sleep, you are bothered every night, you wake up very tired and exhausted. So you might have the urge just to relocate into a new location, and unconsciously what is really happening, the universe is trying to move you to another calmer place or environment that will eventually activate your spiritual awakening. Because a spiritual awakening is where actually you may be triggered to awaken, and that awakening is not going to happen until you have actually made a move out of a certain place into another territory. Because you see, awakening is not pretty. Awakening is ugly. It makes you realize and see the ugliness of everything that has always been around you. And sometimes you might awaken and your body may not contain the energy in that particular environment at the time. So you may be sometimes compelled, you may get this feeling of, okay, I need to move, I need to go somewhere. You don't even know why. Sometimes you might find yourself packing your bags and just moving to a new country, moving to a new city, moving to a new town or village or whatever, and you don't even know why. That is because the universe is preparing you. That place that you're going to go is most likely where your spiritual awakening is going to happen. Those are the 3 signs I can think about. You may have others that you know that I don't. Let us know in the comment section below. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in my next one. Denzo Mo signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.